Hi, and welcome back to A Bride's Guide to Wedding Photography. And have you ever wondered how you deal with that one guest on the day who is possibly going to get in the way of the professional photographer because they're so keen to get everything photographed themselves? If that is the case, we've got the possible solution coming up for you right now. The first tip to reveal today is that a professional photographer will vastly enhance the actual running of your wedding day, whereas a photographer, as spelled across the screen here, is going to detract from your day. And the main reason they're going to detract from your day is there's going to be very little planning done between you, the bride and groom, and the photographer at the location that you're going to get photographed. So you don't know where you're going to be going, when you're going to be going, and why you're going to be going to certain locations to get photographs done. And also, whenever it comes to the group shots, the photographer probably isn't going to have enough skill or confidence to actually assemble and disassemble the groups efficiently and quickly to get those shots, which everybody hates, to get them done as quickly as possible. You'll also find that they probably will be photographing your wedding with the camera on an automatic setting, and you'll know this because of the fact that they're actually checking the back of the camera every time they take a photograph, checking to see what it's like. Whenever you've got the camera on an automatic setting, the exposure is going to run all over the place and there's going to be no consistency to the images. Whereas if you've set the camera up manually and correctly, then it's a case of you've got the exposure dialed in and you're getting the shots done as quickly as you possibly can. So that's the first tip that I've got to reveal today. The second tip to reveal today is that the photographer is one of 4 people who carries their phone with them all day. The other 3 are pretty critical that they actually have your phone number, and I'll give you a clue, 2 of them are not the bride and groom. So there's 3 other people that it's essential that they have phones on the day and actually have your phone number on the day as well. The third and final tip to reveal today, as alluded to earlier on, is the keen amateur photographer guest who may possibly appear at your wedding. And the best way is to actually anticipate it. You know the guests that you're invited, and you know if there is probably going to be somebody who may possibly, get in the way unwittingly. They're a keen photographer and they're keen to get photographs taken. But you'll need if there is a scenario where this may actually crop up, then brief the best man and the ushers that they may be called on to actually deflect this person away, to another task on the day. And especially during the group shots, you tend to, these people, that they'll want to get their photograph after the professional's taken theirs. So it's going to take twice as long to get through those photographs. So what you could do is get an usher to ask them, listen, could you go and actually photograph the guests? The bride and groom would like candid shots, and you'd be the ideal person to get that done. It gives them a job to do. They don't feel as if they're being kicked out of the scene, so to speak. And that's one way of getting rid of them. Another one is to get an usher to invite them to the bar for a drink or something like that. And it gets them out of the road and no fuss is created. But those are the 2 ways that I would deal with the keen photographer who may possibly get in the way during the day. Well, that brings us to the end of the 3 tips that we're going to reveal this week, and so it's a case of seeing what we're actually going to reveal next week. So again, back to the dice, and that's how many tips we're going to reveal. So it's going to be 4 tips for next week, and we'll get those pulled out of the jar now. What we're actually going to do with these tips is we're going to pull them out of the jar and keep them out of the jar for, approximately 9 months, and then they'll go back into the jar. We don't want to run the jar completely dry because we want to keep this going for as long as possible. So there are the 4 tips that I'm going to reveal next week, and hope you enjoyed that. So if those 3 tips that are revealed this week were any use to you, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of it, again, give it a thumbs up. And if you reckon anybody would benefit from it who maybe possibly hasn't seen it, then share it over to them and let them join in these weekly sessions. So until next week, I'll chat to you then. Bye now.